find at your places. I'm Priyanka Bish from Arden Progressive School, and in today's session we will be starting with a new chapter of business studies, which is chapter number 4, planning. As we know, we have studied about the concept of management. Management is a process of getting things done through others effectively and efficiently. So management is a process, means process is a steps, and planning is the first process of management. So here we will be studying about meaning of planning, features or nature of planning, and importance of planning. These are the topic which we will be covering in this session. So starting with the first topic, which is meaning of planning. Now, as we know, all the types of organization, whether it is government or private, or all the scale of business, whether it is small or big, every business organization works or they plan to achieve the set target, and for this the businessman have to think about future, make predictions, and then only they can achieve the target. So to decide what to do, how to do, and when to do, they do planning. So planning can be defined as thinking in advance what is to be done, when is to be done, and how it is to be done, and by whom it should be done. Or in simple words, we can say planning bridges the gap between where we are today and where we want to reach. So this is what planning, it bridges the gap between where we are standing today and where we want to reach. So planning basically involves setting of objectives and deciding in advance all the appropriate course of action to achieve these objectives. So we can say planning is setting up of objectives and targets and then formulating an action plan to achieve them. There is another important factor in planning, which is time. Plans are always developed for a fixed time period. As we know, no business can go on planning endlessly. So here, by adding this factor in the definition of planning, planning can be defined as setting objectives for a given time period, formulating various courses of action to achieve them, and then selecting the best possible alternative from the different courses of action. This is what planning is. Next we have features, nature, and characteristics of planning. So first feature is planning contributes to objective. Now planning starts with the determination of objectives. We cannot think of planning in the absence of objective. So there must be some objectives so that for which the businessman can plan according to it. Now after setting up the objectives, planning decides the method, procedures, and steps to be taken for achievement of set objectives. So here we know when we set the objectives, we have to decide the methods and procedure also how to achieve the set objective. Next we have planning is primary function of management. As we know, the management process starts with the first step, which is planning. So planning is the primary or the first function to be performed by every manager. That means no other functions can be executed by the manager without performing the planning function. Because we know the objectives are set up in planning and the other function depend on the objectives only. So whatever there are steps after planning, it all depends upon the very first step, which is planning. For example, as we have studied in organizing function, where manager assign authority and responsibility to the employees, and the level of authority and responsibility, it depends upon the objectives of the company. Similarly, in staffing function also, we know the employees are appointed. The number and type of employees again depends on the objective of the company. So planning always proceeds and remains at number 1 as compared to other function. Next we have pervasive. So planning is required at all levels of management, which means top level, middle level, and lower level, and it is required in all types of organization, whether big or small, government or private, etc. So it is not a function which is restricted to top managers only, but planning is done by managers at every level. So formation of a major plan and framing of overall policies is the task of top level managers, whereas departmental managers, they form plans for the respective departments, and lower level managers, they make plans to support the overall objectives and to carry on day to day activities. So here planning is done by the managers at every level. By this we can say that planning is pervasive. Next we have planning is futuristic or forward looking. See, planning always means looking ahead, or planning is a futuristic function. Planning is never done for the past. We know we set the objective, and to achieve that objective various steps are taken in planning process only. So we are achieving the objective here, that means the planning is done for the future. All the managers, they try to make the predictions and assumption for future, and these predictions are made on the basis of past experiences of the manager, and we know with the regular and intelligent scanning of the general environment. So by this we can say that planning is forward looking because the steps are taken or the methods are decided to achieve the future objective. Next is planning is continuous. So planning is a never ending or the continuous process, because after making plans also, one has to be in touch with the changes in changing environment and in the selection of one best way. See, as we know, business is dynamic. So with the changing business environment, plans will also have to change, and plans will be continuous. So after making plans also, planners keep making changes in the plans according to the requirement of the company. For example, if the plan is made during the boom period and during its execution there is depression period, then the planners have to make changes according to the conditions. So this is how planning is continuous process. Next we have planning involves decision making. So the planning function is needed only when different alternatives are available and we have to select most suitable alternative. Now we cannot imagine planning in the absence of choice, because in planning function, managers evaluate various alternatives and then they select the most appropriate alternative. But if there is only one alternative available, then there is no requirement of planning. So in short, we can say that in planning, various alternatives should be there. And if there is no various alternative, if we have only one alternative, then there is no requirement of planning. For example, to import the technology, if the license is only with the State Trading Corporation, then the company have no choice but to import the technology through State Trading Corporation only. But if there are 4 or 5 import agencies included in this task, then the planners have to evaluate the terms and conditions of all the agencies and then they select the most suitable from the company's point of view. So in this feature we know that the planning involves decision making only if there are various alternatives available. With the various alternatives we can easily decide which is most suitable and which we have to adopt. Next we have planning is a mental exercise. So planning is a mental exercise. It is a mental process which requires higher thinking. That is why it is kept separate from the operational activities according to Taylor. So according to Taylor, planning should be kept separate from all the operational activities such as production, purchases, sales, marketing, etc. So in planning, assumptions and predictions regarding future are made by scanning the environment properly. So whatever changes that will take place in the changing environment, the plans will be made according to it. So here only assumptions and predictions can be made. This activity requires higher level of intelligence. And secondly, in planning, various alternatives are evaluated and then the most suitable is selected, which again require a higher level of intelligence. So it is right to call planning an intellectual process, and basically this process is performed by the top level managers, where they decides the plans and policies of the organizations, rules and regulations of the organization, and also the objectives of the business. Now the next topic is importance or significance of planning. So the first importance is planning provides direction. So planning is concerned with the predetermined course of action. It provides the direction to the efforts of employees, and it makes clear that what employees have to do, how to do, etc. So by stating in advance how work has to be done, planning provides direction for action. All the employees will know in advance that in which direction they have to work, and this will lead to unity of direction also. So if there were no planning, employees would be working in different directions and organization would not be able to achieve its desired goal. So planning provides the directions to the employees so that they can be directed, or their actions can be directed towards a common goal of achieving organizational target. Second, we have planning reduces the risk of uncertainties. So as we know, business is dynamic, business environment is dynamic. So organization have to face many uncertainties and unexpected situation every day. So planning helps the manager to face the uncertainties, because planning is always done for future. Planning is futuristic. So planning tried to foresee the future by making some assumptions regarding the future, keeping in mind their past experiences and scanning of business environments. So the plans, they are made to overcome such uncertainties. The plans also includes unexpected risks such as fire or some other calamities in the organization. So the resources are kept aside in the plan to meet such uncertainties. So this is the advantage of planning also. So as we know, business environment is dynamic, and the planning is done for future, so it somehow reduces the risk of uncertainty. Next, we have planning reduces overlapping and wasteful activities. So the organizational plans, they are made keeping in mind the requirements of all the departments. There are many departments in an organization such as sales department, marketing department, etc. So planning, they are made keeping in mind all the requirements of the departments, and the departmental plans are derived from the main organizational plan. As a result, there will be coordination in different departments, because all the departments, they are working for a common goal of organization. And on the other hand, if the managers, non-managers and all the employees are following course of action according to the plan, then there will be integration in the activities. So basically, plans ensure clarity of thoughts and action, and work can be carried out smoothly. There is unity of direction towards the common goal by all the departments. So we can say by this, planning reduces overlapping and wasteful activities. Next, we have planning promotes innovative ideas. So as we know, planning requires high thinking and it is an intellectual process. So there is a great scope of finding better ideas, better methods and procedures to perform a particular job. So planning process forces the managers to think differently and assume the future conditions. So it makes the managers innovative and creative, because we know planning has to be changed according to the changing environment. This helps the manager in thinking an innovative way, and this makes the manager creative in thinking also. So this is how planning promotes innovative ideas. Next is planning facilitates decision making. As we have studied in the feature of planning that there are various alternatives and we have to choose one best alternative to achieve the target. So planning helps the managers to take various decisions. As in planning, goals are set in advance and predictions are made for future. So these predictions and goals helps the manager to take fast decision. Next is planning establishes standard for controlling. Controlling, we know, we have already studied in the function of management. It means comparison between planned and actual output, and if there is a variation between both, then we find out the reason for such deviations and then take measures to match the actual output with the planned. But in case there is no planned output, then controlling manager will have no base to compare whether the actual output is adequate or not. So basically, controlling function defined out the deviation between the planned output and the actual output, and if there is any deviation, the managers try to improve that deviation by planning. For example, if the planned output for a week is 100 units and the actual output produced by employees is 80 units, then the controlling manager must take measures to bring the 80 unit production up to 100 units. But if the planned output, that is 100 units, is not given by the planners, then finding out whether 80 unit production is sufficient or not, it will be difficult to know. So the base for comparison and controlling is given by planning function only. By this we can say planning establishes standard for controlling. So these were some importance of planning. So in this session we have learned about the concept of planning. We have learned about the features or nature of planning and also about the importance or significance of planning. In the next session, we will be discussing about some new topics of planning. That's all for today. Thank you.